Hey Dior dolls, and welcome back to my channel. So this video is going to be a little different than my other videos. As you guys can see, I am on my couch, and I don't think you guys ever saw my couch before, but I wanted this video to give like real raw big sister to little sister type beat. So yeah, as you guys can see by the title, today's video will be a college advice video. So I did ask a couple of my friends that are going into college, what are some things that you guys would like to know, and they gave me a couple topics. So I do have them written down, but pretty much everything is going to be coming off at the top of my dome because I'm trying to give y'all the real tea, no shade. By the way, if y'all hear anything in the background, it's been raining really bad today. It's been thundering real loud. It's been shaking the house. Like, it's a lot going on, but I'm dedicated to getting this video done. Before I dive into these topics, I did want to give a quick background of who I am because some of y'all may have never seen my college videos before. So hey, my name is Maya. I am a senior business administration major from Baltimore, Maryland, and I attend Morgan State University. Now let's get into the tea. First things first, let's talk about your major. So your major is basically what you'll be studying throughout your whole college experience. Like I just told y'all, my major is business administration. Now, I always had my mind on business, going into the business field since I was in high school, so that's why I chose the business admin major. One thing I will say is I would suggest for you to have your major picked out before you go into college, but if you don't, then it's totally okay. You can switch your major at any time, but I would suggest you either switch your major in your freshman or your sophomore year because it's a little bit easier to maneuver. Your freshman and your sophomore year is more so like your general education classes, like your math, your English, such and such. But once you move on to your junior and your senior year, it's going to be more concentrated on your major. So if you switch your major, your junior or your senior year, it's going to push you back. I will also say really sit and think about what you want to do as far as your major, and don't follow what everybody else is doing. Just because everybody else is going into the nursing field don't mean that you got to go too. I know a common thing from my major is that people be like, oh, it's so easy, you shouldn't be going to a university for that. But me, I don't care. It's something that I want to do. It's something that I love, so that's what I'm gonna do. So all in all, really pick something that aligns with your future goals and your values, and if it don't work out, then it's okay. You can just change your major if you want to. Next topic we have is friendships. So I'm gonna keep it P with y'all. I know we all had our old high school friendship groups and all of that, but if you guys are going to different colleges, it may not be the same relationship. I'm just keeping it B because everybody's gonna go their separate ways and everybody's gonna do their own things. Don't mean it's bad blood or anything, but everybody likes to do their own thing. They're gonna have their own experience, and they may have new friends when they are at their college campus. So I would really say be open to having new friendships. Now there's so many different ways on gaining new friendships, and I will tell y'all, if you think you about to be sitting in that room being in your own shell and think you about to gain some new friends, it ain't gonna cut it. It ain't gonna work like that, player. You literally have to go out and you have to venture. You can meet somebody on the elevator. You can meet somebody in the caf. You can meet somebody in the student center. You can meet somebody even in the freaking library, y'all. Like, you have to go out. I know you might be shy. I know you might be an introvert. Trust me, I understand because I'm an introvert myself. Something simple like giving somebody a compliment, saying, hey girl, you pretty, can go a long way. That can start a friendship right there. For all my upcoming freshmen, I know you guys have like the freshman orientation where you get to know more about your college, and you may gain a couple of friends from there, but I will give you a warning. Those friends that you gain from there will most likely not be your friends at the finish line. I fear that that's a canon of it. I did not want to believe it, but it happened to me. I really don't know what it is, but I fear it is really a college canon event. It happens to everyone. So if it happens to you, don't worry, because it happens to majority of the people when you first come into college. Be careful who you hang around. Hang around people who have good intentions, who are on the same path as you are, and just protect your peace. Now let's move on to professors. When it comes to professors, make sure you guys are doing your research before you even register for that specific class. Key thing that I always use before I register for a class is using the website rateyourprofessor.com. This is not a sponsor. Rate My Professor is basically a website where the students themselves rate that specific professor. And when I tell y'all it works, it works. The students can rate them 1 through 5, and then they can also write what happened in their class. They can write how much work they give out. The key thing that I would say is build those relationships with your professors. Now, I'm not saying you got to be goody two shoes. I'm not saying you got to be the teacher's assistant. Like, you don't got to do too much, but just make sure you have a cool vibe with some of your professors. It don't got to be all, but just a couple of your professors during your college experience. I say that because you never know what's going to happen in your college experience. Let's say you're going for an internship and you're about to apply, and they say that you need 2 to 3 recommendations from professors. You don't got no connects. Now you don't have any recommendations. But at best, I would just say just to at least be cool with at least 2 to 3 of your professors. Use those office hours, and also don't be afraid to use that email. If you need any help on a certain chapter, assignment, or whatever, they have certain time periods where you can go into their office and get some more like one-on-one help. I feel like I shouldn't be saying it, but hey, it's some people that be doing it. But when you are emailing your professors, keep it professional, y'all. Like, don't be shortening words, don't be saying GM. Actually fully type out good morning professor, blase blah. Now with Morgan State University, I ain't gonna hold y'all, they hire a lot of foreigner professors, so it may be times where you have to teach yourself. Just saying. But there's always going to be extra help. You can always ask your classmates. If you feel like you can really understand your professor, go to them office hours. It is always good to advocate for yourself, because at the end of the day, you're the one that has to get that degree, not anybody else. Hold on, this next topic may ruffle a little feathers. The next topic is relationships / boys. So let me tell y'all my personal experience, right? So boom, you were in college for 4 years, right? 2 of those years I was in a relationship, and 2 of those other years I've been single. I was in a relationship my freshman and my sophomore year, and now I'm single my junior and my senior year. Me personally, this is my opinion. I feel like you should not be in a relationship coming into college. Boys are really a distraction. You're coming to college for one thing and one thing only, and that's that degree. And it's really funny now, but at the time it was not funny. It was a time where I was in class. It was a time where I had a class on Tuesday, and that was my only class, but that class was like really long. I think that class was like an hour and 30 minutes, an hour and 50 minutes. I don't know. It was a super long class, and that whole entire class, I ain't hear nothing. Because what was I doing? I was beating down this phone because I was arguing with my ex-boyfriend. But being for real though, I always tell people that are coming out of high school, I highly suggest that you just don't get into a relationship your senior year of high school, or if you are in a relationship, I would just dead it. I'm just being for real. No matter how many years y'all been together, I honestly would dead it. Now my experience isn't the same as everybody else's, but from the patterns that I be seeing, I be noticing, the relationship do be going downhill, or eventually they just break it off, period, in general. It be some people with some wandering eyes, knowing they got a girl or they got a man back home. You're in college, meaning that you are a grown adult now. There's nobody gonna be holding your hand. So of course you're gonna dip and dabble with some boys, some girls, whoever you prefer. But be careful and be safe. These boys can be real life trifling. Trifling. If you want to do, if you're thinking about doing the do, wrap it up. Don't care, don't matter what the boys say. Oh, I don't like this, I don't like, don't care. If you don't want to do it, that is your sign to say, I'm out. It's time to grab them bags and head out that door. Because like I said, boys are trifling. And with my advice on this topic, I don't want you guys to be scared or nervous to talk to anybody, but I just really want to say, be careful. There is some good guys out there. Good guys do exist out on the planet, out on your campus, anywhere, but just really be careful. Just don't settle for the bare minimum, baby. Now we are moving on to the next topic, which is parties. Your mama a party girl, she just wanna have fun too. Now you getting drunk twerking with your friend, now you getting drunk calling me your man. First piece of advice that I will say is, parties are gonna forever be there. Please don't be that type of person that you gotta go to every single party. No, you do not. I've never been a party type of girl. Like I said, I am an introvert, and I just recently started going to parties going into my college journey, and I can't say for every college campus because I haven't been on every college campus, but specifically for mine, they play the same songs over and 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 over again. Like, it's the same things. You're not going to be missing out on nothing, I promise. Parties are going to forever be there. If you have an assignment that's due at 11:59 that night and you're debating on going to a party, smash that party and get that work done. Remember what you are here for. Parties are always going to be there. Next piece of advice is to know your limit. Now, you really don't have to drink in order to have fun at a party, period. But if you do drink, please know your limit. Please do not get sloppy drunk and act the fool, just doing the most, because nobody really likes that type of person, you know? Know what you're comfortable with and know that you don't have to be peer pressured into anything. And that goes for smoking too. Speaking of drinking, always watch your cup if you have one. People are really crazy out here and you don't really know what anybody's intentions are, so they may slip something in your cup. If you happen to ever sit your cup down, like if you're going to the bathroom or something, always throw that cup in the trash and just get a new one. You never know what people's intentions are. Last thing that I will say about party wise is just to be smart. College is all about the experience, but just be safe and be aware and know your surroundings on where you're going. Every place isn't a good place. Like I stated earlier in this video, I do live in Baltimore, so every hood, every surrounding area isn't the best. So if I know a party is somewhere and I'm familiar with that area and I know that area isn't good, then I'm not going to the party. I don't care who's going. I want her life, so I'ma stick to what I know. The next topic is going into your first week. So I don't know how it is with everybody else's campus, but specifically for Morgan, we have this thing called freshman week, which is where all the freshmen move in and they have a whole week to themselves. So during that time, or if you guys don't have a freshman week, right before the first day of classes, go around campus to see what building is what. It's going to be a lot going on the first day of classes, so I would suggest for you to be more prepared. Go to each building on where your classes are at just to see where they are, so that way you won't be confused. You won't be walking this place to this place to this place to find your classes. You'll already be set and know where to go. During the first week of classes, we always like to call it syllabus week. Syllabus week is you're not really doing too much work. Now, that's not for every professor, but majority of the time you're not going to be doing any work and they're just more so going to be going over the syllabus. Do not skip over those classes. Going over the syllabus is very important because that's what sets you up for that class. You always go by your syllabus in each and every single class, because what may work for one class may not work for the other. So you really have to pay attention to each and every single syllabus. Next piece of advice that I have is to create some structure. Now, I am going to talk about time management a little later on, but time management is really key in your college journey. So I would highly suggest for you to get some calendars, some journals, some scheduling apps on your phone, anything that helps with knowing how to schedule stuff and putting your assignments in, use that. It is 100% okay to feel overwhelmed, but just make sure you give yourself some grace. Going into college or being in college in general is just a new experience that you've never dealt with before. And like I said, it's nobody really going to be there holding your hand. This is you being out in the world. So it's okay to be stressed, but just remember, pray it out. If you are religious or if you aren't religious, just give yourself some grace. You really don't have to feel like you have to have it all done within the first week. Take it day by day. Now let's get into the roommate life. Me personally, I've never had the experience of having a roommate because I am a commuter student, meaning I go back and forth. I do not stay in a dorm. And let me first start off by saying this. Everybody does not grow up the same, and you will find that out during your college experience. I'm even gonna hold y'all, it's really some girls out here that are trifling, like they are really dirty, act like they ain't never been nowhere, they just straight trifling. And then another thing that I don't like about the whole roommate situation when it goes from my college, you can't pick your roommates. They give you some random ass roommate that you never met before, like but let me get to the advice. You guys do not have to be the bestest of friends, but I will try to say, try to create some type of bond, some type of friendship, only because you guys are going to be living in the same space. I also feel like having communication early is very key to having a successful semester with your roommate. It just overall sets guidelines and rules of what you like and what you don't like, what you prefer and what you don't prefer, and vice versa goes along with your roommate. Cleanliness is such a key thing, man. Have a schedule with your roommate of when y'all need to clean. This is why I say I feel like communication is very important, because your standards of cleaning and making sure stuff is clean may not be the same standards as your roommate. And I know it may sound crazy, but it happens. The last thing that I will say is, if something is not working, say something. Do not be afraid to speak up and say something. First, I feel like you should go to your roommate first, because at the end of the day, you guys are both grown adults, so I feel like you guys should be able to communicate effectively. But if that does not work out, then I would suggest you go to your RA, which is your resident assistant, or your RD, which is the resident director. You really want to avoid conflict as much as possible, because I don't want y'all to be knucking and bucking in there and then somebody end up getting kicked out of their university. So please, if something is not working, please communicate effectively. Next topic that I would like to touch on is being alone for the first time. I feel like I really want to touch on this specific topic because I feel like people in their college advice videos, they really don't speak on this part, which is actually a very important part, because there's no parents, there's no high school friends unless they are going to the same college that you're going to, but other than that, it's really just you. Now, it might feel a little weird at first, but honestly, it's really normal. You're just adjusting to your new lifestyle. Just because you're alone right then and there in that moment, don't mean that you're going to be alone for the rest of your college journey. I remember I was feeling alone and by myself, but now I got a good set of people around me. You're going to be growing up and maturing in so many different ways. So really just use that season to lock in and grow into ways that you never thought you could. Next topic is saving money. That whole broke college student saying is not a joke at all. It will humble you, especially if you don't have a meal plan. If you don't have a meal plan, then baby, you finna be spending money left and right. So my first piece of advice is to stack up your money whenever you can. Winter break, spring break, summer break, use those breaks to stack up your money. Even before going into your freshman year, stack up as much money as you can. I know I said this earlier in the video, but I'm gonna say it again because it ties into saving money. You do not have to go to every single party, because parties do be costing money. Parties can range from $5 to $20. You may need a meal next Friday and you just spent your last on a party that wasn't even worth it for real. Now you starving. I would say the most time that you're ever going to be spending a whole lot of money at one time during your college experience is homecoming. Because baby, you want to go to everything, so you're going to be spending money, and you need clothes, so you're just going to be spending money on top of money on top of money. So make sure you guys are tracking your spending. You do not need the latest drop of every single Lululemon set. Okay? And of course, if you can, find a job or do a side hustle, especially heavy on that side hustle, because baby, you can make some money. You can make some money on campus. Everybody is always looking for something, whether they need their hair done, their nails done, the makeup done, graphic designs, they hungry, they want something other than McDonald's. Everybody is looking for something, so use your talents, use your passion if you can. Now let's talk about your social life in college. Be intentional with who you hang around. You do not need a big old friend group to have fun. A cool little solid 5 people will be good enough for you. Y'all gotta put yourselves out there. You gotta start joining these organizations. You gotta start going to campus events. You gotta be going to them job career fairs, everything. I've always gone by this saying that my dad has always told me. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Ate that. I always go by that. It's not what you know, it's who you know. You got to network, honey. Networking is one of the best things in your college experience because you never know who you may meet. Last thing before I move on to the next topic, but make sure you guys have a LinkedIn profile. I need to be giving myself that advice because my LinkedIn profile ain't even all the way to go. Now this next topic is very powerful. Let's talk about depression in college. I know I done had my moments, but it's been cases where a lot of students just be suffering in silence, and I want y'all to know that you don't ever have to feel that way. College can be really hard, and it's okay to feel sad, it's okay to be depressed, but it's just all about how you get out of it. You can't just sit in it. You just can't mope in it. You gotta get out of it. I really don't ever want y'all to suffer in silence. So if y'all can, please talk to somebody. Talk to a trusted friend. I know my campus, they offer free counseling. If you have that, go to that counseling. If you have a mentor, talk to your mentor. Talk to somebody. It's gonna be some days where you feel like you're not gonna want to get out of bed, where you don't want to go to class. Trust me, I know. I have dealt with that before. But you just gotta keep going and push through. Some things that I like to do when I get sad is, number 1, pray. Pray. Second thing is I like to journal, and then I also like to color. Certain stuff that I do just relaxes my mind. So if you guys don't like to do anything that I just said, find something that overall just helps with your peace, and eventually you will get through it. So the next topic is Greek life. Very important thing. Do your research. Every Greek organization has its own history, has its own missions, everything. If you want to join any kind of Greek organization, you need to be discreet. Don't tell everybody that you want to be this, you want to be that, because if you do that, that's just not a good look for the people that's already in the org, and that may ruin your chances of actually becoming what you want to become. Don't just join for the look or the popularity status, or if you want to stroll. It's very important to know that this is a lifetime commitment. Like, their service goes beyond after you graduate. Now, I really can't speak on this whole entire topic because I am a GDI. You're probably going to hear that term a lot on campus, and what a GDI is, a goddamn individual. It's just basically a term just to say that you aren't in Greek life. But what I do know is just make sure that your intentions are right and do your research. If it's for you, then it's for you. If it's not, then it's not. It's perfectly fine. But with any other org, of course, you are going to gain a family. So just make sure you are choosing the right pick. Now let's talk about comparison in college. I don't know if y'all ever heard this saying before, but comparison is the thief of joy. You cannot compare yourself to anybody else in this college journey. Some people may graduate in 4 years, some may graduate in 5 years, some people may switch their majors, some people may even just drop out in general. So you really cannot compare yourself to anybody else. If anything, I would say don't compare. Use that as inspiration. If you see somebody that's doing good, they're getting their internships, they're getting that 4.0 GPA, use that as inspiration. Use that as, oh, I want to have the same mindset as them. I want to have the same goals as them. I want to accomplish what they accomplish. Use that as inspiration, not comparison. You may not be where you want to be just yet, but celebrate what you have accomplished so far. Celebrate those small wins. And lastly, give yourself some grace. You are not behind. You are on your own path. You really don't have to have it figured out right then and there. There's enough room for everybody to eat. Next topic is time management. So first, you need a system that works for you. Like I said earlier, using Google Calendar, using a physical calendar, something to make sure you are on track. Like, my biggest bad habit that I have about myself is that I procrastinate. But procrastinating in college is not good. Hear it firsthand. It is not good. There's some professors that'll let you slide and open up an assignment for you, but all professors ain't like that. So you get one chance and one chance only, so you better get it done at that time. Now, this is a big tip. It is okay to say no. Your friends want to hang out, but you got a big midterm coming up and you gotta study for it. Say no to them friends. There's always going to be another opportunity coming. Set your boundaries, and overcommitting to stuff can lead to burnout, and you do not want to burn out. Learn how to take breaks, and also make a day where it's just strictly your reset day. Having a reset day is just extremely important because it just overall gives you time and opportunity just to clear your mind, clean your space if you haven't already, and just overall get more organized. The next topic is about leadership. Leadership isn't just about having a title, it's about how you show up for your community. Now, there's so many ways of being a student leader. You can go student government association, you can go campus activities board, you can go royal court, you can go executive board of an organization. It's a whole lot of titles that you can go around, but you don't always have to be the big dog. Before stepping into one of those big roles, actually know your why. Don't be going into these roles because you want some clout, or you want to be popular, or you want to be the next biggest thing on campus. Like, cut it out. I really hate people like that, because there's so many other ways that you can do that, and somebody who actually has potential could be in your spot, but instead you're in that spot because you want some popularity. Don't get me started on that, y'all. Don't get me started on that. You don't gotta be the loudest person to be a leader. You can be behind the scenes and still be a leader in that classroom. Being a leader means that you are willing to address certain problems and be that voice for your community's back. You gotta be willing to take accountability. You gotta be able to work around things. I will say, being a student leader myself, being a president, it can be a lot, but it's just really about how you balance certain things. If you aren't willing to go through some hard times, then I would not suggest for you to be in a student leadership position, because it can be a lot, no matter what kind of leadership position you go through. Now, to close it out, we have our last and final topic, which is the overall experience. One thing that I will say is there's no right and there's no wrong. Well, it can be some wrongs, but there is no right way to go about college. People make mistakes, people do fuck up, but it's all about how you come back from it. There will be some good times and there will be some really bad times. It is okay to cry. It is okay to struggle. It is okay to go through all of these emotions, because you are experiencing a new lifestyle. Always remember that college is what you make it. If you make it a bad experience, it'll be a bad experience. If you make it a good experience, it'll be good. Last thing that I will say is give yourself some credit on making it through. I've never celebrated small wins before ever in my life more than I did in my college experience. ever. Between battling your classes, your social life, your work life, relationships, it'd be a whole lot going on. So just give yourself some credit for showing up. Alrighty guys, so that wraps up the end of this advice video. I hope you guys learned a lot, and if you did, comment down below what was your favorite tip that I gave you guys. If you guys have specific questions on any topics that I didn't touch on, don't be afraid to put it in the comments. I always respond back to majority of my comments, so if you have a question, just let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to your girl, and I'll see you guys in my next video.